So, shalom and welcome everybody, mostly from Israel, but also from wherever you are. And welcome to this teaching by Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdul on the 37 practices of a Bodhisattva. I'm David with the Dharma Friends, and we also have Ben who's co-hosting on the technical side. And before Geshe joins us, I have a few short announcements. So on the technical side, please remember. Great, thank you, Ben. So on the technical side, please remember to make sure your mic is muted at all times, unless, of course, Geshe unless you are being addressed by Geshe. These teachings is also streamed live on our YouTube channel, and all of the courses videos will be available at our YouTube channel, so you are welcome to review all classes at the courses designated playlist. Today and tomorrow the teaching will begin at 10:30 a.m. Israel time or 1 p.m. India time. We'll have two classes each day with a break of 1 hour in between. So the session will end at 2:30 p.m. Israel time or 5 p.m. India time. So please join a few minutes before we start so that we can begin the class on time, and for any other announcements that we might have. Since Geshe likes interactive sessions, please leave your camera on while your mic is off. And lastly, I would like also to mention that Dharma Friends of Israel is a non-profit organization that runs all of its activities by volunteers. All our activities are offered freely and supported by participants' donations only. And so we encourage you to practice generosity and to take part in making it possible for us to continue our activities that are totally dependent on your support. As always, whatever is left after covering the expenses of this event will be offered to our teacher as a token of our deep appreciation and gratefulness. So Ben will post a link for Dana and the chat box, and you can also see the details at our website at this course's specific page. Well, I guess that's about it for the opening talk, and Geshe will join us shortly in a couple of minutes. Thank you for your attention. Hello, Geshe. Shalom, welcome. Ashdelek. Very happy to have you back with us, especially at this troubled time. So thank you so much for accepting Dharma Friends of Israel request and kindly offer these precious teachings. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, David La, and thank you, Ben La, and all the friends of the Friends of Israel, Shahala, Leorala, and the Tamila, and Shukila's there. Oh, yep, and Gilala. Yep, all my dear friends are there. And Benaba Alpha. Okay, so it is a great joy for me to be with all of you here. And yes, particularly having all of you having been through very difficult days, very sad situation in the world, and the extremely painful. And at this moment, the Benla requested this teaching, and the topic that we have chosen, the 37 pairs of Bodhisattvas, we see that is very relevant in a way for us, for the Tibetans. It was like in 1959 when we didn't know what was going to be the situation of the Tibet. His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the capital of Tibet, Lhasa, being bombarded by the CCP, and His Holiness was going to be the plight of His Holiness, was going to be the plight of the people there who are who are safeguarding His Holiness. What is their plight? And the whole Tibet, the many millennia of their culture and civilization. What happened to that? It was all unpredictable in those days and extremely difficult days. So likewise, so here the Israel and the Palestinian issue, and wherever in the world we see that all these problems are there. So, and in a way, I am glad to say that amongst the Israelis, um, yes, reactions are very different. People differ in their reactions to the situation, and I fully understand whatever reactions the individuals say present in the face of the current challenge. I understand it fully, even if somebody can be extremely aggressive, that the other side should be destroyed completely. And some say, no, 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 this can be resolved in a peaceful way. And that is not a problem of the people there, it's a problem of some the leaders there. So we see that there are the various take, just as in Tibet. And because the Tibetans, their reaction to the CCP's invasion of Tibet, whole invasion, and the atrocities, killing, stealing, stealing the whole nation, everything. Now, even demolishing the monasteries, saying that, okay, we want to build a dam, we want to build, like a water passage here. So this is the space we require, so demolish it. So the uninvited, His Holiness always sometimes referred to as the uninvited guests with the guns. So now they dictate what do you do. For example, somebody comes to your house and says, okay, your table should be here and your kitchen should be here. Somebody dictates from outside. This is totally unacceptable. So this is exactly what happened to Tibet, the Tibetans, and why, overall speaking, the Tibetans, overall speaking, remain very calm, peaceful. It's not because that the Tibetans are very special people. Don't think like this. We are all as ordinary as the people of any other country. And it's all because of His Holiness's direction, advice, that people's trust on His Holiness, people's the devotion, respect for His Holiness, Tibetan people's respect for His Holiness, that His Holiness came out to be a very different leader, extremely compassionate, extremely sensible, visionary, seeing the broad picture of the reality. He came up to be a very special leader, because of which, and the Tibetans have a full faith and devotion to him, that some pockets of the Tibetan people, they simply wanted to display very aggressive nature, as many of the people from the different countries, different nations, different ethnicities demonstrated to protect the culture, traditions, so forth. So this was by no means Tibetan is something special. It's only the only thing which is special about Tibetans is His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So with this in mind, what I'm saying is that when I hear some Tibetans, even who are little against His Holiness's the visions or thoughts, plans, I fully understand it. I would say that I won't agree with them. I cannot agree with them, but I understand why, what's going in their mind. Likewise, for the Israelis, likewise on the other side, the Palestinians, on both sides, we see that different reactions can happen depending on the information that you get and how mature you are, and and how far you can see things in distance, in time, space, and so forth. And once in a while, during the 2-day teaching that we're going to do here, and I may have some anecdotes, real life anecdotes to share with you. And I would say that our responsibility is finally to make sure that the land, so where we are, the land is at peace, and finally we are able to see the situation in a through a very different lens of our thinking, that we see everybody as brothers, sisters, and then these problems should come to an end, that nobody should suffer unnecessarily on both sides. So the point is that this being the extremely important, and it's not just that I'm saying this for the sake of having to say this, but the getting feedback from my friends, from Israeli friends, and different feedbacks. And some they feel so agitated. Some they understand this is the thing. So we need to really think of the globally, not just locally, the different takes on this. And I fully understand all. So the point is that finally this text 37 practices of the Bodhisattvas, as requested by Benla, and I'm extremely happy that Dharma Friends of Israel, the earlier, so way before, I see like Leorela, and then Gilala and Tamila, and many of them taking charge, and then the Shahala taking charge, and now they seems like passed down to younger generation, Benla. So this is amazing. So so in the course of our teaching, yes, and of course you have your own questions. I'll be very happy to entertain the questions as well. So the point is that what I'm sharing with you is that I personally, because that I came from this background where we lost everything, and His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So nowadays you may be getting the clips of His Holiness where he says that at 16, he lost his personal freedom, because he was whether he likes it or not, he was identified, or is given the temporal responsibility, the whole nation, Tibet, in the hands of this young teenager, 16 years old. And at 24, he said that I lost my country. At 16, I lost my freedom, because I have to act as a leader, and then I don't have the freedom to be as a teenager. Now, 24, I lost my nation, I lost my country. So this is the thing. And because this is my background, it could be very befitting that I'm speaking for somebody who's going through the similar situation. And with this mind, this text is the extremely beneficial. And then we will learn finally that the nation is going through a problem. And in fact, the both sides are going through problems. And then if we think really seriously, there's few people on both sides who are deliberately inciting these problems, and unnecessarily commoners suffer. And if these leaders, they suffer, that's okay. But why should the commoners suffer? Commoners, they don't have anything to do with each other. Commoners, they're struggling for their food. They're struggling for their livelihood. And then why should they have to suffer? Finally, they suffer. So this is extremely unfair. And how to think more broadly, not because I'm an expert in this, on the basis of my personal experience and on the basis of the training that I went through, with the blessings of my teachers and all the Nalanda great masters, their thoughts. So just see that in the first place, as a nation, it should be more peaceful. And then as a world should be more peaceful. The nation should be more peaceful. And finally, you should be peaceful. You, the fear should be less. The agitation should be less, more calm. And then on that basis, see how much you can contribute to spread this peace and the ease, peace, calmness in your family, in your workplace. And then if you have whatever influence that you have, then influence the more high authorities. And then talk to the people of not only your country, to the outside your country. And this just how much contribution that each one of us we can make in our own capacity. It doesn't mean that because of this class, then the next day, the whole, the peaceful dialogue, the dialogue is happening, between the two nations or two places. No, it will not happen. Most likely it will not happen. But at least first attempt is how to give yourself a peace of mind. And that too, not just like ignorance is bliss. With the full knowledge of the reality and still maintaining peace of mind, how to create that. And then see how much out of compassion, how we can spread this to other people with full awareness and understanding that others are also suffering. Your family members, your colleagues, and on the other side also, everybody's suffering. There are some people who are deliberately inciting these problems. So with this mind, the 2-day teaching with 4 sessions. And the first, we begin with a quick preliminary practice to set a motivation. And the most important motivation that we keep in mind as of now, I would say, is that that I should finally, no matter what, the first thing is that I should be in peace, that I should have my mind should be at ease, peace, and maintain calmness. So this is what I should try to do. So when your mind is at calm, not 100% calm, to what extent we can bring 100% calmness in such a state of turmoil, it depends on your understanding of emptiness, bodhicitta, and so forth. And as long as these two are not too high level, we can speak, but it cannot really happen to us. But at least we try our best to create the maximum degree, whatever is available within the given situation, to keep our mind more peaceful and calm. So with this in mind, with this the way of setting the mind, with the proper motivation, and the first thing is that wherever the peace spreads, there should be the peace spreading everywhere, in your place, on the other side, all over the world. so that no such conflicts can happen today, tomorrow, in the future. Your next generation, your next generation, all this should become like a history. They should simply become like, say, the unreality then. So this should be a basic motivation. And finally, the people who are attending this class. So you are the hope for a peaceful the world, peaceful country, and peaceful, say, the peaceful the state of mind, not only in your place, across the world as well. So with this in mind, I request Ben Lau to first do with the preliminary prayers, and then we'll start the teaching.
So we'll do the preliminary prayers, and everybody is welcome to join in. And we'll begin the practice by setting in proper motivation, which consists of 3 parts, while being mindful of both aspects, the object being visualized and the manner in which you visualize it. So we begin with the refuge field. In the space in front of you, visualize Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all other Bodhisattvas, Buddhas, or any other enlightened beings you regard with veneration. They're looking upon you with immense kindness and unconditional love, just as a mother looks upon her only child. And as a bodhicitta field, visualize seated on either side of you your kind parents, mother on the left and father on the right. Additionally, you are accompanied by all other Dhammas sentient beings living none aside, and you are leading them in this practice. And the purpose of this practice to manifest the Buddha nature within you, which is the ultimate source of happiness, by removing the 2 mental obscurations, afflictive obscurations, consisting of the afflictions of negative emotions, contaminated karmas and their corresponding active seeds, and cognitive obscurations, the subtle stains and the inactive latencies of the afflictions and contaminated karmas. So with this in mind, we'll recite the following verses while mentally invoking their profound meaning and associated experiences. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Taking refuge and generating bodhicitta. Sangye chodam tsoki chonam la jangchu bardu dagni kyapsu chi dagi jinso gipe sonam ki trolai pencher sangye dropara sho sangye chodam tsoki chonam la jangchu bardu dagni kyapsu chi dagi jinso gipe sonam gi drolai pencher sangye dropara sho sangye chodam tsoki chonam la jangchu bardu dagni kyapsu chi dagi jinso gipe sonam gi trolai pencher sangye dropar sho. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace which is freed from elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, which through the knowledge of all lead hearers seeking pacification to complete peace, which through the knowledge of path cause those helping migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and through the possession of which help subdue and expound a variety of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher Sugata and protector, to you I make prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays, to you, the Buddha, I make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. We'll recite 3 times the essence of dependent origination mantra. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Tathagato Yavadat Tesham Chayo Niroda Evam Vadi Mahashramanaye Swaham. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Tathagato Yavadat Tesham Chayo Niroda Evam Vadi Mahashramanaye Swaham. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Tathagato Yavadat Tesham Chayo Niroda Evam Vadi Mahashramanaye Swaham. The meaning of the mantra: all phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of the causes as well is taught by the Great Seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear light and non-composite, such is the nectar-like Dharma I have discovered. Finding no one to fathom these teachings, in silence I will retire into the woods. Beyond utterance, thought and expression in the perfection of is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. It is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the 3 times, I pay obeisance. The 4 seals of Buddha's teachings. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are of the nature of suffering. All phenomena are of the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcending sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions of eons. The Buddha does not wash the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that beings are liberated. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. Instructions on parting from the 4 attachments. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. And we'll recite the Heart Sutra mantra 3 times. Teyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Arasangate Bodhisvaha Atyata Om Gate Gate Aragate Arasamgate Bodhisattva Atyata Om Gate Gate Aragate Arasamgate Bodhisattva. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, David Lam. Thank you so much. Okay. The teaching for the 2 days with 4 sessions is on 37 practice of Bodhisattva, and I'd like to quickly share with you the biography of the Buddha in the context of not the common biography, but the biography in the context of the learned people, meaning that people who are more learned and who really go through the real complexities of the life. And then, for example, in your own context, in my own context, each one of us in our own context, in the context of the individual person, of a nation, of the world, and that not only just this life, but many lifetimes. From different contexts, we can look at the biography of the Buddha as indicated by Acharya Dignaga. Acharya Dignaga, 6th century AD. And just see if the biography of the Buddha, which he narrated, if it has something to do with or with our own life, something, there's similarities with our own life. Just see if there is any similarity, and if there is, and then see how he tackled the life, and then from there we learn from the Prince Siddhartha, who was just age 20, going through age 27, 28, 29. Then finally he took the major step to leave the palace, and went in search, driven by compassion. Driven by compassion, he left the palace and went in search of the solution to bring peace, to bring harmony, to bring ease, to stop all the tears of life. And then finally, he found it, he experimented it, and then he experienced that. And with his experience, he went to share this wisdom with other beings. So this is what I'd like to share with you. And in fact, we already read it from this book, which David La shared with you. This is the Blaze of Non-Dual Bodhisattvas. And I see that most of you, we already know each other. And this book you can freely download. You don't have to pay. You can just freely download this. Anybody can freely download this, but you will not see this book in Amazon. This is exclusively the worked, compiled, and printed by Tibet House, and anybody can make a free download of this book for your own use. So in this, which David read just now, we all read together. There, Acharya Dignaga, 6th century AD, his the 2 lines of word of salutation to the Buddha. Okay, if David, you can identify these 2 lines. The one who has transformed,
Yeah,
it should be
sure.
just in the first few pages. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide. Okay, way before that. Yes, thank you. Okay, these two lines, they are the words of salutation composed by Acharya Dinaka in the 6th century AD as the salutation of the Buddha Shakyamuni, and conveying his, say, the qualities and how he undertook the journey of his life. And each one of us, we are undertaking journey of life. Some who are younger, some who are a little older. So this is what we have been in the journey. We are all proceeding journey, and this is the journey Buddha Shakyamuni took. And so this was a salutation which Acharya Dinaka composed for his text, Pramana Samuchaya, the compendium of the valid cognition. The text, there is a word of salutation to this text. And then 100 years later, after the composition of this text, 100 years later, another great psychologist, of course, the great master, our lineage master, Acharya Dharmakirti, came after 100 years. And seeing these two lines, he was baffled by the power, by the contents, the enormity, the gravity of the contents of these two lines. And then he wrote a whole commentary on these two lines with 283 verses. It becomes the second chapter of his seminal work known as the Pramana Vartika, the commentary on the valid cognition. The second chapter, whole second chapter is the just explanation on these two lines. And if you read this chapter 2 on your own, you may get some points, but again, you see that even the whole 283 verses, they're very complex. It requires further explanation. So what I'm saying is that these two just depict, these two lines depict the Buddha's biography. So I just try to relate this to our real life, your own life, and the life of the people in your own country, in the world, and not only your country, you and your the country, men and women of this life, but of the past lives, the future lives. Try to think of very broadly, starting from today, starting from you, and then expand it, starting from today, 2024, and expand it back in time and in the future. So, look at the biography of the Buddha, we see that today we have been inspired. For example, we are together, we are meeting. And for me to see my long-term friends, the faces of the long-term friends is very, so healing for me. I feel so peaceful to see my long-term friends, Israeli friends here, and many friends from India also. This is something very inspiring. So the point is that so we are on a journey, and so what it said here is that okay, we are connected, we are friends, we know each other, and what connected us? If I ask you this, you are in Israel and I'm in India, I'm in Tibetan, but I'm not in Tibet, I'm in India. It's very funny chemistry. And then you are in Israel and we're connected. So what is the linking point? Is only the Dharma, the teaching of the Buddha. And who's the Buddha? Who's that Buddha? And what made the Prince Siddhartha, who happened 2,500 years ago? And he's the one who connects us. You, me, my Indian friends, and my friends from other countries also. Here, for example, we have the young boy Thomas here. So what connects us? There's nothing which will connect us except for the Dharma, except for this incredibly great enlightened master, Buddha Shakyamuni. So what made him, what is there within him that makes us connected? So here, this is the point. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide. He guided us for us to be connected. He guided us to seek a hope in a life, not to feel demoralized, but to seek a greater purpose of life. He's the one. So to guide us, very reliably guide us to the desired goal. So how did he do that? How did he succeed? For example, today we have His Holiness the Dalai Lama, again a guiding light for the whole world. And yes, 8 billion human beings and almost like the 8.7 million different species on the planet Earth. So all these, we are breathing the same air as His Holiness the Dalai Lama. We are treading the same land which His Holiness Dalai Lama is treading. We are so fortunate. And again, so what made this enlightened master, His Holiness, as inspiration for all of us? Again, because of the Buddha's teachings. Buddha's teachings produce such an enlightened master, His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And then going deeper, we're connected with the Arya Nagarjuna's text, Acharya Chandrakirti's text, Bodhisattva Arideva's text, Bodhisattva Shantideva's text, Acharya Dignaga's text, Acharya Arya Sanga's text, Acharya Vasubandhu's text, Acharya Dharmakirti's text. All these Narendra masters, they're all the products of the teachings of these great master Buddha Shakyamuni. So he becomes such a reliable guide. And the question is, how did he become a reliable guide? Was he born as a reliable guide, or he's transformed? He was an ordinary person and then transformed into a reliable guide. So the line says, no, he was not born as a reliable guide. He was transformed, which means we can also be transformed. We're very sad, extremely disturbed mental state. The person with the disturbed mental state, we can transform from such a state to to become a guiding light for the whole world, for all the sentient beings. So reliable guide, he transformed into reliable guide. And how did he transform? How did he transform? This is the biography that you see here is not what you see in the ordinary biographies of the Buddha Shakyamuni. Ordinary biography says that, oh, but the Buddha, he was a young prince and he met with the force, the scenes, and the encounter with the four scenes, and then he felt so demoralized, disillusioned by the world. Then he left the palace. So very like a story for a small child. But this is a very technical, the presentation of the biography of the Buddha, and for the learned people, meaning that somebody who goes deeper into the studies, into the psychology and philosophy. So this is the biography. So how did he succeed in this transformation to become a reliable guide to lead all the sentient beings since 2,500 years ago? No genuinely smart people, no genuinely smart person can defy what the Buddha taught as wrong. Nobody would do that. Everybody is mesmerized by the incredibly brilliant wisdom, pure cognitive transformation, on the basis of which the effective transformation were being taught. So this is something which wise people admire. So with this in mind, how did he succeed in this? Then, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the first, the teacher, Sugata, and protector. So first, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, as a prince, leading an extremely luxurious life as a prince in a palace, but he could see something different behind the beautiful scenarios. He could see something different there. Abuse, conflicts, fights, wars among the kingdoms, and so many people being killed. So he could see all these realities, not only the beautiful, say the beautiful dance performance, beautiful garden, and so forth, but he could see all these things. So, then he was driven by altruism, driven by compassion. So motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings. And so much of injustice is happening, even at the palace, outside the palace. He could see this. And he could not tolerate all these things. There should be a solution to these problems. So what is the solution? By being in the palace all the time, he can become the next king. By becoming the next king, what can I do? Look at this. Look at my own father, who's already king. But what could he do? He could not even protect his own kingdom. He had to survive. He had to really struggle to protect his kingdom, let alone working for the welfare of all sentient beings. So look, his father and the Prince Siddharth, they think is very different. The father is just with this small kingdom, whereas Prince Siddharth is thinking of the whole world, and we are the followers of this prince, Prince Siddharth, who should be thinking of the world. So in the process, it's not that you're compromising your own well-being. You're not compromising anything else. You are actually enriching. Enriching. What are you doing? Enriching, you're taking care of yourself. Enriching, taking care of the people, your family, and the whole nation, the whole world, and all the sentient beings. So I personally would say that, so I'm very fortunate in ways that to meet with these teachings, the Nalanda Great, the teachings from the legacies left by the Nalanda Great Masters. I'm so fortunate in ways that the more I'm being exposed to these teachings, then when I look at the world, I see that we are all like small children. We're all like small children. And let's say in a family of 5 children, all very young children, age 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the children, they fight. Children, they fight. Why? And some, they bully others. Some, they say they make mistakes. And the others will say, no, it is your mistake. They say, why should I suffer because of you? Right? So all these things happen in a family. And whereas in the eyes of the mother, all these children are your children. And some are weak, some are very strong. And when you treat them equally, the strong ones, they're not happy. The more intelligent ones, they're not happy. That I should be treated more special. I'm a special person because I'm better than my siblings. But in the eyes of the mother, you're all same. Only when these children reach to the level of the mother's thinking, then you will embrace all others, all your brothers and sisters, not to isolate them. So this is how the world today, and within yourself, forget about the world, even within yourself, there are so many conflicts. Our mind is like a small child's mind, so many conflicts within. So say some of my friends say they come to ask me some questions or for advice or counseling, whatever you call it. I say that, Geshe, shall I do A or B? Right? So what's the problem if you do A? Or if I do A, this is a problem. What's the problem if you do B? If I do B, there's a problem. Right? So I said that, so you know the pros and cons. Just look at the pros and cons and decide. So likewise, the point is that our mind should mature. And of course, it'll take time. It's not that easy. And how to mature? So this will be briefly explained in the 37 verses, 37 paragraphs of the Bodhisattvas, the text. And so it says that motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings. So the Buddha Shakyamuni, seeing that, he's thinking of the whole world, all the sentient beings. And the good thing, believe it or not, is that all of us, you, me, boys, girls, and everyone outside your nation, even the perpetrators, the victims, everyone has the pseudo-perfection. And technically, we call it the Buddha nature. Everybody has the pseudo-perfection. Unfortunately, why some people, they say the pseudo-perfection is so like nil, non-existent, how they behave. So cruel, so nasty, so uncivilized, so cruel. Why? And some people, like His Holiness said, that are very different. The Buddha nature manifests fully. So how come that people behave very differently if everybody has the same Buddha nature within? So the answer lies in the information, the knowledge. So some people, they're deprived of the knowledge of the presence of the Buddha nature within. That finally you struggle, you find you've been cruel, expecting that I get the benefit, I get the happiness. And some people, they're so nice to others, sacrificing your happiness, giving help to others. Again, with the same, that I get peace by being nice to others. in both cases, we see that we are looking for the peace and happiness. By being aggressive, instead of getting peace, you get more the pain now in the future for you and for your near and dear ones. This is reality. So the point is that this is what Prince Siddhartha, he saw that his father was doing, like any other kings of the other kingdoms. And then this young prince, just aged 26, 27, 28, thought that, no, this is not the way. So I need to protect all the beings, everybody suffering, not just me, not just the citizens in the kingdom, but everybody suffering outside the kingdom, everybody's suffering. So I have to look for ways and means to do that. If I remain in the kingdom, then I will never be in a position to save the world. So what he did, out of great compassion, out of altruism to benefit all the beings, he left a palace. Motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, he left the palace to look for an alternative way, not the way his father adopted to become the king. So he left the palace to look for the alternative way. So for this, what did he do? As I said earlier, some people behave so nastily, some people behave so altruistically. What's the difference? Because of the information. Some have very wrong information, incomplete, very wrong information, and some have extremely complete, profound information. And then they become so virtuous, so good. Some people, they got the wrong information, and that incomplete, incoherent, so full of contradictions. And finally, the result is chaotic. So much pain within yourself. While creating pain for others, you also feel the pain yourself too much, so much of fear. Nobody wants this fear. So, driven by altruism to benefit sentient beings, then he left in search of the information. This Prince Siddhartha, he left to search for the information. Where does he get the information from? From a living teacher. So he went in search of the teacher. The teacher from whom to acquire the information. Information, that correct information, the deep information, the vast information, the coherent information, that knowledge of this information, knowledge of wisdom. He went in search of the wisdom, which he was to teach all the beings later on. So that takes him to look for the teacher. Next, the teacher. So this information, finally, what is that information? Most of you already know that. Information that we should seek, the correct information, the profound information, coherent information that we should be seeking is the wisdom of emptiness. The wisdom of emptiness. What is this wisdom of emptiness? Why this information is so important? It's because that no matter how profoundly you engage yourself in the dream, at times, each one of us, we have our own personal experiences that we have a very profound dreams, amazingly profound dreams. For example, like scientists who are always very curious of looking for some discoveries in the dreams. They must be having a very profound experiences. No matter how profound the experiences are in the dream, as long as you don't wake up from the sleep, you will never be freed from the dictates of the dream. And the dream, you don't have the choice. You don't have the freedom to choose the dream. So that is the unpredictability, uncertainty. And because of the uncertainty, you feel vulnerability. And the vulnerabilities bring tears. We don't want it, and yet it happens, so tears. So how long should we have to shed tears? As long as we don't wake up, we continue to shed tears. No choice. This is the only way. If you want to stop the tears completely, tears of pain on yourself, tears of pain on others. For example, as I said earlier, I am a Tibetan. And my ancestors, my fathers, my parents, my grandparents, they suffered so much. We do not do anything to bully the CCP, and the CCP then retaliated. No, just bullied on us, bulldozed, and then just kicked out. So this is what happened. So these are the tears, unpredictable. Most likely, I would say that my grandparents, they did not have clue that such thing will ever happen in Tibet. My great grandparents, they did not even have the dream that one day that will happen to my, say, the great grandchildren. They didn't have any, but we are in the dream. And because we are in a dream, we don't have the freedom to choose the dream. Anything can happen anytime. We have to shed tears. So we're never freed from the tears of pain. So, for that matter, then so how to stop the tears? There should be very systematic information, systematic wisdom. So, how to stop these tears of the dream? Wake up. This is the only answer. Even if in the dream, say you are extremely in pain and somebody comes to console you, give you medical treatment, you're temporarily, you're okay. Again, what next? We never know. We never know. This is reality. So with this in mind, the point is that they can be as long as you're in the dream, they can be temporary solution to the tears. But the tears will never stop, never stop, never stop. This is reality. So what happened to Tibet? 6 million Tibetans. We did not even have the place to stay. Kicked out. And then somebody, the guest, they comes and dictate, remove His Holiness's picture, remove it. You put Mao Zedong's photograph. This is what happened. So now in Israel, in Gaza Strip, the same issue is happening. Say, unpredictability. This is a major issue. And then they say the one person inciting another person. So look, this is what they did to us. And then the other side, they will say the same thing. So this is how we are in the dream. As long as we're in the dream, we are being constantly affected by the dream. And then other people in the dream, they affect you. So this is how we will never stop the tears. So this is a problem. How to stop the tears? Wake up. To wake up, I don't know. Thus far, I've never woken up. So how should I wake up? I should get the proper information how to wake up. And how to get this information from an experienced teacher. So the teacher, go back to the text. The David Love. Thank you. So the teacher, then with the help of the teacher, the wisdom of emptiness, to how to wake up, that the dream is empty of being real. The dream is not that dream is non-existent. Dream is there, but dream does not exist the way it appears. It is empty. The way it appears is empty. Not empty in ways that is non-existent. It does exist, but the way it appears is objectively real. That is deceptive. The moment you realize this through waking up, all the tears in the dream invariably stops. So this is what the Buddha Prince Siddhartha he did. In fact, he left his luxurious palace. Every day, luxurious meals he left behind. All the luxurious, the nice clothes and everything he left behind. The services by the servants, all he left behind. He went on barefooted. He left barefooted, and he was like so skeleton-like slim that he was going through such the austerity. And then finally, he tested this, what he learned from what he learned for him to teach in the future to the all sentient beings, this wisdom. He experimented to see if it works by waking up, if all the tears would stop. He experimented it, and then finally, the iceberg of self-grasping ignorance melts. Then all what is stacked on the iceberg of self-grasping ignorance, inappropriate attention, afflictions, contaminant karmas, and the miseries, they all crumble down, and all the miseries stop. So what happens? Then he experienced the total sugata, the bliss of the purity, perfect purity. The bliss of the true nature of one's own mind is manifested, Sugata. With this experience, then he became very confident to go to protect the beings. That made him the protector. So this is a biography of this Prince Siddhartha. So if this is the biography of the Prince Siddhartha, then see if there is some balance between the biography of the Buddha and your journey. Biography of the Buddha means it's a journey of the Buddha, journey of the Prince Siddhartha, and your journey. If there's any balance, if there's any the similarities, yes, of course. Prince Siddhartha, he wants to stop his tears and he wants to help stop the tears of other beings. We also want to stop our tears. This is a journey. It's the same. If you really want to stop the tears, the pains within us, or if you want to help the people around you, your siblings, your friends, your family members, the citizens of your country and the world and all sentient beings, what should we do? First, make sure that you stop the tears yourself. For this, we have to know how to stop the tears. Okay, so with this in mind, we turn to the 37 practices of the Bodhisattvas. Okay, 37 practices of the Bodhisattvas. The author, Bodhisattva, the Tome Sambo, in Tibetan we call it Geshe meaning Bodhisattva, Geshe Tome Sambo. And his biography, of course, is a separate day, but I'm going to quickly share who the author is like. This author, Geshe Tome Sambo, since his childhood. So these biographies can be extremely inspiring for us, and because that we can be driven by a full information or we can be driven by impulse. When we're driven by impulse, it's very dangerous. Sometimes we say that, you don't think too much, behave intuitively. There's nothing good in following intuitively. Only when your Dharma practice becomes very advanced, then your intuitions can work. For the ordinary people like me and many of you, if you rely on the intuition, it can be very misleading. It can be extremely dangerous. So better be driven by the wisdom rather than through intuition. And then later on, when your practice becomes very advanced, then the wisdom, the intuition, these two can blend. Not now. So with this in mind, but this level of where the intuition and the wisdom blend, to reach that level, we have to practice. If you practice, everybody has a suit of perfection. We all can attain perfection. For example, like this great teacher, the author of this text, Geshe Tome Sambo, it said that when he was a little boy, just look at the degree of compassion that this boy demonstrated. And we may feel that, the people come with different genes. People come with different genes. So some people, they have a gene which manifests into a very profound compassion, and some people not. Okay, so if your thinking can affect the genes, if your thinking can affect your synaptic connections of the neurons. So with this, look at this, and those of us who actually practice compassion, who actually practice bodhicitta on a daily basis, and then start gradually over the years. Don't expect they say, unlike the wisdom of emptiness, bodhicitta, don't expect the experience coming to you within a span of few months, few years. No, it'll not happen. It takes many years. And that too, if you're consistent with the practice. If you just recite, I go for refuge until man enlightened to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and by the power of practice of generosity, so forth, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all saints. Just recite these verses 3 times and you think that you're practicing bodhicitta. This is not. This is maintaining your flow, maintaining the continuity, but you're not invigorating your practice. Without invigorating practice, this experience will never come. So somebody who's genuinely practicing these 2 methods, 7-fold cause-effect method to generate bodhicitta, and the method of equalizing the exchanges of others to generate bodhicitta, somebody practicing these two methods on a daily basis who practices gradually after many years, you can potentially feel something within you, that the knots of the selfishness, in fact, the real demon, the real terrorist is the selfishness within us. So this selfishness, as the knot of the selfishness, every time you practice the bodhicitta, as it starts to really feel the effect in your mind or impact in your mind, then you see that the entanglements, the knots of the self-centered attitude, they're unentangled one by one. Every time that's unentangled, you feel the lightness. You see that your mind is expanding like this, expanding. Every time you feel that your mind is expanding, you feel the greater and greater ease. So it's like, say, just imagine that you are just a bunch of cotton, like 2 tons of cotton, 2 tons of cotton, and how the people who work on the cotton, how do they transport it? First, they squeeze it because it's so bulky. 2 tons are so bulky. First, they squeeze it with some machines and bound with a metallic wire. Squeeze it, make it very small, and then transport it. And then when you have to work with this, what they will do, they will have to remove the metallic wire. So they have to cut it. They cut it. How does the cotton behave? It behaves suddenly, it just bulges. Why? It was bulging like this. Why it not with this metallic wire? When it is tied with the metallic wire, this cotton is not behaving in its true form. So it is constricted. It is constricted. Just imagine that this is your mind. You're constricted. You feel the suffocation. The moment this metallic wire is broken, instantly it just breaks free. That is your true nature. So likewise, our self-centered attitude is like the metallic wire which binds our mind, very strongly, which does not allow our mind to behave in a true form. And our mind, if it is allowed to behave in its true form by breaking this metallic wire of self-centered attitude, it breaks free, and then nothing really restricts. Nothing really restricts means you have no fear. The fear stops. Your tears stops. And the ease is there. You're not sophisticated. You feel the total ease. That is your true nature. Your true nature of mind. So with this mind, the point is that we need to say, get the proper information. And if we practice it, then we see that the entanglement or the metal wire created by the self-centered attitude, they're not in the form of one smooth wire, but they're in the form of entanglements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 100,000 millions. Millions, don't be scared. Millions. So how long will it take to break all these, right? Say initially it is like the aeroplane. So first, the pulling cart. This cart should push the aeroplane and put in the track. Once you put in the track, then the aeroplane moves 1 kilometer per hour. And then you may, if you're flying for the first time, you may think that, so how will I ever reach Delhi from Israel? It's just 1 kilometer per hour. And then it picks up 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers, 100 kilometers, 200 kilometers, 300 kilometers. Then it takes off at that speed. And then it can go like 1,000 kilometers per hour. Some commercial flights, the speed is like 900 kilometers per hour. Sometimes some of them can be like 1,000 kilometers per hour. So this is how it picks the speed. So if you practice initially the unentangling, the self-centered attitude, not of self-centered attitude, you could feel it. You could feel it one by one, very slow. Every time unentanglement happens, you feel a greater ease. The joy that you feel is something which we have never experienced before. So this will tell us that we can actually feel the benefit of these practices, Bodhisattva practice. And then the fear subsides, joy expands. So this is exactly what happened to this teacher, Bodhisattva Geshe Sangpo. So he demonstrated these skills, very advanced, sophisticated practice of compassion, experience of compassion at such an early age. When he was like age 4 or 5, he demonstrated these skills, these the manifested form of the compassion. At just age 4 or 5, he was born in a nomadic area where the clothes is just like the sheepskin, and we call it chuba, the dress for the dress to keep us warm. We call it chuba. And this small boy also had a chuba. And evening he went to relieve himself, meaning for the natural call. And then coming back, he came back naked. And the family members, where's his chuba? And this boy was not uttering even a word. He was remaining dumb. And they were insisting, where's your chuba? And they knew that this boy is very special, very compassionate. So they went out to look for his chuba, his sheepskin and chuba. They found that his chuba was lying put over a bush. And they were wondering why he put this chuba on the bush. They gradually move it, very gently remove it, and underneath the chuba, they found a spider. So look at this boy. He was feeling so cold himself, very cold place, most likely -10, -15, -20 in those days in Tibet, high altitude in the winter. And yet this boy just came naked. So what was going the mind of this boy? That this tiny insect is naked. It's too tiny. I'm a huge person. Still, I feel so cold. If this is the degree of the cold that I feel, what is the measure of the cold, the cold that that tiny insect, naked tiny insect, must be feeling? So he must be feeling more pain than me. So I should give my the chuba to him. So this is what made him do that. So look at this degree of compassion. And one time, he was again taken by his uncle, and uncle knew that this boy is very special. And when there was when the gust of the wind blowing, and this boy was looking at the sky, and he started to scream, crying a lot. And the uncle knew that this boy was crying because the leaves carried away by the wind in the air, and the boy was thinking that these birds, the poor birds, are being killed by the wind. So he was crying out of compassion to the birds. And the uncle knowing that this boy is very special. So this uncle scolded the boy, saying, "What a stupid boy. These are not birds. These are leaves." The moment this boy heard that these are all leaves, not the birds, he felt so relieved, he stopped crying. So what is this? These are all the demonstration of extremely powerful, innate, spontaneous compassion this boy cultivated in his past lives. So each one of us, if we practice these two methods, the 7-fold course method and the method of equalizing exchanges of others, for sure, we'll also experience that, and we'll feel it in this life, that your joy is expanding, something's happening, extremely tranquil, peaceful feelings coming to you, which you never experienced before, or purely because of the practice of the bodhicitta with these two methods. And then you see that, okay, if I practice it, then the story related to the author of this text, it is really real. I could feel it within me. This is how we can get the conviction and the confidence in the presence of the compassion. Okay. So going back to the text. The first verse is a little technical, and then the following verses will then unfold things gradually, step by step. The first was more like the summary of all what you're going to learn from the whole text. So the Namo Lokeshvaraya, Lokeshvara, Aravarukateshvara, the Buddha of compassion or the Bodhisattva of compassion. And at times you see the mention of Bodhisattva Aravarukateshvara, and other times the mention of the Buddha Aravarukateshvara. So what's the difference? So difference lies, and I see that many of you are very senior in your Dharma studies and practice. So you should know the difference. The difference is that according to Sutra system, Avalokiteshvara is treated as a Bodhisattva, 10th level Bodhisattva. And according to Tantra, Avalokiteshvara and all the what we usually treat as Bodhisattvas like Manjushri, Aratara, Vajrapani, Samantabhadra, and so forth, they're all treated as the Buddhas in Tantra system. And in Tantra system, when it's Avalokiteshvara, it's not just like, oh, there's one Avalokiteshvara there. When you become a Buddha, there's a mental functions, different mental functions we call technically referred to as the the mental factors, that your various mental functions, mental factors, they manifest in the different Buddha forms. When you become a Buddha, same person become Buddha, your wisdom will manifest in the form of Manjushri. And you become a Buddha, your, say, the deeds, efficacy of the deeds, efficacy of deeds manifest in the form of Aratara. You, the same person. And when you become a Buddha, that your compassion manifests in the form of Arya Avalokiteshvara. So these are all nothing but a manifestation of the same individual. As a Buddha, then all these manifestations arise in different forms. So this is why you find at times the mention of Avalokiteshvara as a Bodhisattva, other times as the Buddha of compassion, and other times the Bodhisattva of compassion. Okay, this is a difference. You see that all phenomena neither come nor go, meaning that the same in the dream we see things as, oh, now my mom is coming towards me with the cheesecake, or now the terrorist coming towards me with a gun, coming and going, coming and going. And then you see that all phenomena neither come nor go. When you wake up, all coming going in the dream stops, meaning that you see the ultimate reality directly. The Buddha Avalokiteshvara, you see everything in the light of the ultimate reality. That all what we see as conventional truth, as coming, going, and so forth, arising and ceasing, coming, going, oneness, separateness, all these on the basis of seeing them as objectively real, our afflictions arise, our afflictions are triggered, because of which then the different mental states of the fear, anxiety, stress. Within the anxiety, there are so many kinds of anxiety, they all arise. So you see them from the point of view of the ultimate reality, that you wake up. In other words, we have woken up from the sleep of ignorance completely. You see that all phenomena neither come nor go. So this is you seeing the ultimate reality, ultimate truth. Now the second line is you see the conventional truth. Still you strive solely for the benefit of the beings. It's not that, okay, now everything is empty of true existence, I'm the ultimate peace, so the sentient beings, they're like dream, then stop. No. If in the with the belief that you are seeing the ultimate reality, if your tendency towards benefit other beings stops, or it gets reduced, which means that you are falling into nihilism. The real understanding of emptiness is that as your understanding of emptiness grows, your compassion should grow. So it says, still you strive solely for the benefit of sentient beings by seeing dependent origination. Emptiness and the dependent origination, the two sides of the same coin. You see emptiness, all your mental agitation, stress, which disturbs you, stops. Seeing dependent origination, all your virtues grow, compassion. And all the virtues, they grow like a waxing moon by seeing dependent origination, two sides of the same coin. Supreme Guru and protector Avalokiteshvara, referring to the Avalokiteshvara referred to as the Guru and the protector. To you, I continually bow with body, space, and mind. I bow, meaning that I see see you as my role model, as my guide, to guide me to the desired, what I desire. What do you desire? I desire to stop my tears, and I desire to help stop the tears of others. So that this is the meaning of the guide, the guru. And finally, keep in mind the guru, there are two kinds, the conventional guru and the ultimate guru. So conventional guru refers to outside guru, and the ultimate guru is your own good qualities. From the job of the conventional guru, outside guru, is to introduce you to the internal guru, ultimate guru. Ultimate guru of, say, the final guru for what? Guru means a guide. Guide, to guide you to what you desire. What do you desire? Fearlessness and infinite happiness. Fearlessness, technically referred to as nirvana, and infinite happiness, technically referred to as Buddhahood. To guide you there. So once you, what helps you to attain these two qualities? Yes, the external guru helps me. How? By teaching me two techniques. One is wisdom. In a little sense, this wisdom will stop all the tears. How? The tears of dream stops when you have the wisdom to wake up from the sleep of ignorance. So that is thing. Then the infinite ease. Infinite ease comes to your mind when your mind, nothing restricts your mind, that your mind expands freely. And how does your mind expand freely? Your mind expands freely. Your mind expands freely when the restrictions stop, restriction of self-centered attitude stops, then the mind flows freely. That gives you the infinite happiness. So the first one, still, you see that all phenomena neither come nor go. That is the wisdom to stop the tears. Wake up from the sleep of ignorance. And still you strive solely for the benefit of beings, the infinite compassion, to make you feel the infinite ease of your mind. So these two things will make you to attain your desired goal. So these two are the two internal gurus. Two internal gurus. So the external guru's job is to introduce you to the two internal gurus. Once you introduce to the two internal gurus, this is the greatest of success. Why? Because external gurus may not be 24/7 with you. External gurus may not be with you at all times, maybe once in a while, but the internal gurus, once you introduce to internal gurus will be with you forever. So this is the meaning of the external and internal gurus. So our job is, instead of being too infatuated with, oh, he's my root guru, she's my root guru, and so forth, instead of that, seek the help of the external gurus to be introduced to internal gurus. Once you're introduced to internal gurus, then help others to be introduced to their internal gurus. This is so important. Okay. The next, the perfect Buddhas, the sources of benefit and happiness, arise from the genuine dharma. So the perfect Buddhas, as we studied before, say the one who has transformed into to the reliable guide. That's a Buddha. The source of benefit and happiness, reliable guide to take others to the ultimate benefit and ultimate happiness. So how can somebody attain that state? Remember, connect ourselves with that verse by Acharya Dignaga. The source of benefit and happiness arise meaning that they arise from the causes. They arise from their respective causes. Ye dharma hetu prabhava, which David, they recited before this teaching. Ye dharma hetu prabhava. All these phenomena arise from the causes. The miseries that we experience arise from the causes. Happiness that we experience also arise from their respective causes. So what are the causes for you? For somebody to become a Buddha, for somebody to experience the fearlessness, the infinite happiness, arise from practicing the genuine dharma, genuine instruction, genuine wisdom, genuine dharma. So, which in turn depends on, so how to practice this genuine dharma, genuine system, the proper information, complete information, coherent information. the wisdom. What is how to practice this, which in turn depends on knowing how to practice. So I'll explain the Bodhisattva's practices. So we have to know these things. And without learning these things, even actually for us to meet with these teachings, is unless we have enormous amount of merit, we will not really meet with these teachings. Like the 37 practices of Bodhisattvas is amazing text. Even to meet with how many 8 billion human beings, forget about 8.7 million species on the planet Earth. Forget about these, even the human species. One out of 8.7 million species on planet Earth. Within this human species, we see that there are 8 billion human beings. Out of the 8 billion human beings, how many have heard the title, the 37 practices of the Bodhisattvas? So less. So we should not be actually taken for granted that, okay, yeah, these teachings are there. We should not be taken for granted. This, unless you have enormous merit, we will not really meet with these teachings. And in this life, we met with these teachings. What about next life? If we take it for granted, then likelihood that we'll not meet with these teachings can happen in the future lifetimes. So it's so important not to take for granted, but every time we have these teachings with reverence, the reverence, sense of reverence and the respect for these teachings will help us to be connected with these teachings in the future lives as well. So it says that the perfect Buddha's source of benefit and happiness arise from practicing the genuine Dharma, which in turn depends on knowing how to practice. So I'll explain the Bodhisattva practices. So 37 verses will be the 37 practice of the Bodhisattvas in the form of the 37 components in the form that taught in the 37 verses is what we're going to learn. Okay. Verse number 1. Now that you have obtained this precious human birth, the great boat of so difficult to find, in order to free yourself and others from the ocean of samsara, listening, reflecting, and meditating with diligence day and night is the practice of Bodhisattva. Okay. Say here that mentions the precious human birth. And yes, if you really want to go very technically, what I mean by precious technical, the precious human birth, the technical aspects, the eight leisures and 10 endowments and so forth. But what I would say here is just think of as I said earlier, on the planet Earth, tiny planet Earth, a tiny dot in solar system, a whole solar system is a tiny dot in the face of the Milky Way galaxy. Milky Way galaxy is a huge, massive, and the solar system is a tiny dot there. And in this Milky Way galaxy, how many the beings are there? And the planet Earth is the planet where the Buddha Dhamma flourished. So from that point of view, and then they say on this tiny planet Earth, we see that with human beings, it's just one species. And how many species are there on planet Earth? 8.7 billion species. 8.7 billion species, out of which the human species is one of them. And look at these species, 8.7 billion species. Say, did they have the opportunity, or do they have the opportunity to hear about emptiness, or to process the cognitive mind to understand emptiness, or to process the mind to go to make the compassion really grow so intensely, so sophisticatedly? Even animals, they demonstrate compassion, but not as sophisticated as the Bodhisattva's compassion. But of course, in the story of the Bodhisattvas, Buddha Shakyamuni himself, when he's going through the past lives, reading his biographies, we see that he demonstrates, as a Bodhisattva, taking birth as the animals, and demonstrated these Bodhisattvas, incredibly profound Bodhisattva, say the mindsets or compassion, the thoughts, very sophisticated. But generally speaking, human beings have this tremendous potential to manifest these qualities. So from that point of view, look at the enormity of the number of this species, and then within individual species, we see that enormity of the number of the beings, 8 billion human beings, the precious birth that we are endowed with this thought process, or the brain or the mind, to process the very sophisticated concept of emptiness, to wake up from the sleep of ignorance and to expand this compassion. So extremely sophisticated compassion can be given birth to. So this is so precious human birth, we're not to take for granted. So now that you've obtained this precious human birth, the great boat, so difficult to find. Boat for what? The boat to cross the ocean of samsara, ocean of the miseries, ocean of the tears of samsara, tears. And the pains are so acute. Pains are so acute. Think of domestic violence. Hearing the domestic violence is extremely sad, and hearing the violence because of the wars among the different countries is acutely painful. And all the common people, they are suffering, children are suffering, people are suffering, and they're extremely painful. The tears, so painful. So, but this precious human birth, if you use it properly, of course, encounter with the proper information, proper wisdom, then we can, this human precious birth is like a boat to cross the ocean of the tears of samsara. Tears of samsara, to be free from all the miseries of samsara and to feel expansive, the joys, expansive ease of mind. Now that we've obtained the precious human birth, the great boat, the great boat to cross the ocean of samsara, so difficult to find. And young people, they have their own problems. And the middle age, they have their own problems. And the elders, they have their own problems. Elders, they have their own problems. Everybody has a problem. The powerful, they have their own problems. Lack of power, you have problem. The poor people, material poor people, they have problem. And material wealthy people, they have problem. Educated, they have problem. No education, they have a problem. Everybody has a problem. So one time, I was meeting one of my friends, and the person is already, I say, exposed to the Dharma knowledge. And person was, sharing her grievances of life, the problems of life. And some of the problems, yes, there are ways and means by which we can stop. And some of the problems which she shared later, I said that, okay, now this, I cannot do anything. I cannot help you. This, only you can help. How? Bodhicitta, wisdom and trance, only then this problem will be solved. Without these two, these problems are common to everybody. If you don't believe me, go to the richest of the person, see if you have this problem. Go to the poorest of the person, see if that person. Go to the most powerful person, ask if the person has the same problem. Go to the least powerful person, you'll see that this problem, if you see this is a problem to everyone. And this will be solved only through your personal effort in expanding your compassion and to know the ultimate reality of the dreamlike nature of all phenomena. Until you practice these two things, nobody can help you. Buddha cannot help you. Even thousands of Buddhas surround you, they'll say sorry. They cannot do anything. So the point is that this is the meaning. The boat, so difficult to find. So first, we need to have the boat which has the potential to take you there. And then what do we need? The boat with a proper rudder, proper guide, direction. The direction is wisdom. We need the proper information, proper wisdom, that this boat can go in the proper direction, cross the ocean of samsara. Otherwise, this boat can go into the samsara in a circular way in samsara, without the proper information. So, meeting with the proper information, getting the precious human, this is so precious. So, wise people will make sure that we don't neglect this precious human birth. So, meanwhile, some of us, for example, myself with more white hairs coming, and the younger ones who still have the complete black hairs, like David or Shahala, right? So there, the point is that soon As time is all relative. If you think that I'm young, I'm young, I'm young, time will pass by at one point. So when I think of my school days, I feel, oh, it's long time ago. When I think of just sitting for the Geshe degree, I thought it's just like 5 years ago. And sometimes this was my thought, it's just 5 years ago. And then when talking to somebody else, it's already 20 years past. Oh, time flies. And it'll happen to everybody. So the point is that wise people will make sure that this precious human birth is not wasted. It is used productively. Number one. Number two, how to use it productively? By valuing this, by feeling the value of this. How to use it productively? By meeting with the correct knowledge. What correct knowledge? The knowledge imparted to us by the Buddha Shakyamuni, by the Nalanda Great Masters. And today, His Holiness the Dalai Lama. We are so fortunate today that we have His Holiness who inspires us to get hold of the Buddha's teachings directly. Don't beat around the bush. You have no time to beat around the bush. Tackle the study, reflect, meditate. Don't just say meditate, meditate, meditate without the study and without the reflection. Study, reflect, meditate. Study, reflect, meditate. And study the very authentic information. Okay, seems like Gilala is hinting me, right? Okay. So the point is that this is what is required. So it says, now that you have obtained this precious human birth, the great boat was difficult to find, in order to free yourself and from others from the ocean of samsara, ocean, the tears of samsara, the tears of pains of samsara. So how to do that? Make use of this boat for listening, reflecting, and meditating with diligence. Day and night is a practice of Bodhisattva. Okay, I will stop here. It's Indian time, 2:30. I will stop here and we'll meet again after 1 hour. Yeah.
Thank you, Geshe. See you everybody in 1 hour time.
Okay, we'll recite the Heart Sutra mantra 3 times together with me. Tirtha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgate Bodhiswaha Tirtha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgate Bodhiswaha Tirtha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgate Bodhiswaha. Okay, 3 processions together.